Your news for South Mississippi starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Noah Noble. First tonight, that desperate search for a missing teenager on Horn Island ending in tragedy. Family members say the body of 18-year-old Nolan Wells was recovered just before 9 o'clock this morning. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter telling us the body was found on the island by a park ranger. Wells went to Horn Island on the 4th of July and was last seen around 3 o'clock that afternoon. His mother reported him missing late Saturday. The young man was a multi-sport athlete at Ocean Springs High School and was a wide receiver for Southwest Mississippi Community College. Those close to him say he was known for his kindness, genuine personality, and a smile that could light up a room. Sheriff John Ledbetter sitting down with us as speculation surrounding the teen's death grew on social media.
Number one, give the family space and time. They are still processing this tragic event and all of Nolan's close friends. And we're still waiting for 100% confirmation. I'll assure you that the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, we're looking at this whole case just like we would any other case, and we're going to be as thorough as we can.
The county coroner's office confirming to us an autopsy will be conducted and the results will be shared with Jackson County Sheriff's investigators.
A heartbreaking update out of Mississippi this week. The family of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells has confirmed that the body found Monday morning near Horn Island is Nolan. He has been missing since Saturday after spending the 4th of July weekend on the island with friends. Search crews from multiple agencies spent 2 days searching by boat, helicopter, and on foot before a park ranger discovered a body near the northwest end of the island Monday morning. Authorities say the body matched Nolan's description and his family later confirmed the devastating news. Nolan was preparing for his sophomore season as a wide receiver at Southwest Mississippi Community College. After graduating from Ocean Springs High School, coaches, teammates, classmates, and community members have shared tributes remembering him as a talented athlete and even a better person. His mother posted an emotional message saying that their hearts are broken and asked for privacy while the family grieves. She also thanked everyone who searched and supported them during this difficult weekend. Let's hear from Bob Evans. Bob, take it away.
Breaking news. A heartbreaking update out of Mississippi. The family of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells has confirmed that the body found near Horn Island is Nolan after an extensive multi-day search. Wells disappeared during a 4th of July weekend trip with friends, prompting a large search involving the U.S. Coast Guard, local law enforcement, park rangers, and volunteer rescue teams. The discovery has left his family, teammates, and community mourning the loss of a young man remembered for his bright future on and off the football field. At this time, investigators have not released an official cause of death. Authorities say the investigation is ongoing, and more information will be released as it becomes available. Our thoughts are with Nolan's loved ones during this incredibly difficult time. For the latest updates on this developing story, stay with Connect TV's Viral.
Thank you, Bob. As this story develops, many questions remain unanswered. Exactly what happened after Nolan became separated from the group he was on Horn Island? This tragedy is a reminder that to always prioritize safety when boating or visiting remote islands, especially during busy holiday weekends. New developments in the heartbreaking case of 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Nolan's parents recently appeared on Good Morning America along with their attorney, Ben Crump, to share their side of the story and remember the son they say was kind, loving, and respectful young man. During the interview, Nolan's parents described him as a sweet boy who cared about people around him and emphasized that they wanted the world to know Nolan, who Nolan truly was, beyond the headlines. Nolan's father reflected on the importance of staying together when you're in a group, saying that when you arrive together, you should leave together, a message he believes highlighted the questions surrounding what happened. Nolan's mother also spoke about her son's character and defended his innocence, saying she wants people to understand the person Nolan was and the life he lived. As the investigation continues, the Wells family says they are searching for answers while keeping Nolan's memory alive.
More on the mysterious death of Nolan Wells. We're joined by his parents, Christine and Elmore Wansley, as well as their attorney, Ben Crump. And before we get started, first off, I want to thank you for being here under these circumstances. I know how extremely tough it must be, and we can express how sorry we are for you and your family. And first question, how are you two holding up?
Taking it second by second.
Day by day.
Second by second and day by day, which we all can understand. And I just want to ask you, the friends that Nolan traveled to Horn Island with, they say that he stayed behind voluntarily. Why would he stay behind?
That we cannot answer. I can't fathom why he would. I
don't know why he would. We always taught him to, if you go with a group, you stay with a group. Mm-hmm. Even when he was in college, he would say, Dad, well, we're gonna ride down to a party or something in another city. Now, so I was telling him, look, if you go with 5, you come back with 5. Do not separate from your group. Because I always said, safety is in numbers. Mm-hmm. And he always said, yes, sir. So he knew to stay with his group. So why would he split from his group? I don't know.
So that would have been unusual for him to split from the group. Yeah. And you said he would always check in with you. Did he check in with you that day?
So that day, no, I don't. But of course, too, they were on the boat. And usually when he is out there, which it's not uncommon, he's, I think, since last year, he's been going there occasionally with his friends. And so it would always just be like, hey, Mom, I'm back, type of thing. But this time there was no call or text from him. It was from his friend.
And then too, really didn't worry a lot about it because it was his last weekend to have fun. Yeah. Because that Monday he had to report to school. We was preparing to take him back for camp to prepare for the season. So, we're gonna see. He wanted to have his last little hurrah before he locked down and get ready for the season. Because, like I said, the entire summer he's training. He got more serious. He started to understand what I was trying to tell him about. Football not just being fun, but as you get farther in it, it becomes a business. If you want to excel, and you have to understand, and you have to understand both at the same time.
And we know, Ben, that you said that you're going to do an independent investigation.
Yes.
And you say you have Nolan's cell phone and messages were deleted. How could you tell messages were deleted?
Well, his parents got the phone back, and that's something that's important, Michael, because they tracked this phone on Life 360.
So Life 360, but when I received the phone call from Warren, I immediately called my friend Tashima, and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan? Because her 2 sons, Jalen and Javon, they grew up together. They played city league sports together. When they got into school, they played sports together. And so she was like, hey, okay, the boys were pulling up the location from Snapchat. So the Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. I'm not. He's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone. They tracked it, and that highlights all these contradictions, Michael. The fact that they said Nolan was talking to a young woman, and she said that he said, I'm going back to get on the boat with the boys. The boys said that he said he was going to stay with her. And so that's an obvious contradiction. And then this video of this, you can hear an argument going where Nolan is saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And so then his phone ends up missing. I don't know any teenagers, Michael Strahan, who says, if you believe their story, I'm gonna stay behind and I'm gonna leave my phone. I mean, no young person leaves their cell phone. And so then there's so many things their parents were telling us about, even why didn't his body wash up with the tide on Sunday? Why would it come on Monday? It's not adding up. And that is the problem when you think about the history of Mississippi.
Yeah, so there's so many questions that need to be answered. And is there anything you'd like people to know about Nolan? What would you like them to know about your son?
No,
It's okay.
Nolan, take your time. Nolan was very loving. He was liked by all. It was not a friend that he couldn't make.
No, we'll be right back with more for the parents of Nolan Wells and attorney Ben Crump. We're back now on GMA with the parents of Nolan Wells, Christina and Elmore Wansley. And I want you to please continue to tell us what you want the world to know about your son.
So Nolan was just like this bright light, right? Walk into a room, his smile, his energy was just so infectious. Like it's almost like he drew you into him. And he was just one of those people, like he always wanted everyone to be included. He didn't want anyone to feel left out. I remember one of his teachers emailing us. I can't remember what grade he was in, but basically it was math class. They had a special needs student, and she asked a question, and Nolan got everyone to put their hands down because he wanted that student to answer. And so student answers the question, and she was like, Christine, the classroom, Nolan went crazy, and everyone else started going crazy, just celebrating that child. Making them feel included. And that was the person he was. Like he loved everyone. And I always told Nolan, like, you have to be careful when you have such a big heart like that. I love that God blessed you with that, but you have to be careful with that because that it's not always returned, that type of love. But he was just genuinely a good person. Like I always say, all the best parts of me are with him.
And Dad, anything else you want to add?
It's just, he's gonna be really missed. I know a lot of his teammates, they all looked at him as a leader. He's more like a silent leader. Not real big on words, more action, which is kind of like I was. I really wasn't real big on talking. I really wanted to show you, and you follow me, and people follow him. And it's gravitated. He put in the work, he worked hard, and he knew he was focused on what he wanted. And he wanted to make life better for, his family. He wanted to have his own family. He used to say, Dad, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. I said, well, son, you got to take it one step at a time. Slow down, let's go, let's walk this thing out. Let's train, let's sign our deals, let's make these teams, make these camps, put the work in, and everything else will work out. Even his baby brother, their bond got even stronger because now I have a big brother that he's finna do something, so now I want to outdo that. So his focus and his confidence has got even better. So I was looking forward to both of them having outstanding years.
Seasons,
It seemed like he inspired in the home and he inspired outside of the home. And Attorney Crump, where do we go from here? What's next?
Well, the deleted messages that Christina was going to briefly touch on, we want to get the phone and figure that out.
Backtrack on that. When we finally got his phone, me and my sister went through the phone. We went in his Snapchat. He had 2 accounts, absolutely nothing. It wasn't even 24 hours, which is how long videos and pictures stay in Snapchat. And I was just like, that can't be. Like, I've seen Nolan whenever he snaps, like when he goes and he's having fun, like he does videos, like there was absolutely nothing, no saved videos. And even my sister was like, yeah, that's suspicious,
Michael, we having an independent autopsy done at the behest of his family. Colin Kaepernick helped pay for the independent autopsy. We flew his body up from Mississippi to D.C. because they wanted an autopsy done by a person with no interaction with the Mississippi law enforcement, because there is an issue of trust here that is really important. And the fact that they keep trying to say, well, suggesting it was a drowning, but nobody out there reported him drowning, it's not adding up, Michael Strahan. It is not adding up.
And honestly, we are doing this because at the end of the day, I would hope any parent would fight for their kids to find out if anything happened, what did happen. So we just want honesty and transparency. We want a thorough investigation. We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else, and that's it. We just want answers.
Well, we really appreciate all of you being here. We hope you get the answers that you deserve to have, and we hope you get the closure that you need. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Mike.
My nose is out here, my eyes are here, my brain is here, which means some things I could smell before I could see and before I can figure out. This does not smell right. So some people are saying, Reverend, are y'all bringing in race? Well, we're not bringing in race, but we're not discounting race either, because we don't know what it is. So to tell us don't rush to judgment saying it was racist is fine. But then I'm telling you, don't rush to judgment saying it was not racism. My nose is out here, my eyes are here, my brain is here, which means some things I could smell before I could see and before I can figure out. This does not smell right. So some people are saying, Reverend, are y'all bringing in race? Well, we're not bringing in race, but we're not discounting race either, because we don't know what it is. So to tell us don't rush to judgment saying it was racist is fine. But then I'm telling you, don't rush to judgment saying it was not racism.
First of all, I want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. This is not how I wanted the world to meet my son, but here we are. So, as you know, I'm Christine Wells Wansley. I am Nolan Wells' mom. And Nolan is the kindest soul. He never met a stranger. He loved everybody. He didn't care if you were black, white, purple, green, looked like a marshmallow. Like, he just wanted everyone to be in peace with one another. He loved life, and God gave him this big heart, which always scared us. Me and his dad had conversations with him all the time, not just about the importance of understanding our history as black people, but also the importance of how you have to move in certain spaces. And it's not us being, feeding into racism or the stereotypes that comes with that. Unfortunately, that is just a matter of fact. There have been many cases, many instances that shows it's unfortunately a pattern that he did not like. He did not like that there was so much division, and I think that's why God gave him us. He was really a peacemaker. He wanted, like I said, everyone to be included. He never wanted to leave anyone out. He just, even at a young age, I don't know, he was, how old was he? No, not 18. So his father and I were having a moment, and as couples do, and even in that moment, he runs in the room with his diaper on, of course, and he starts dancing, because it was like he could feel the tension. He could feel that something wasn't right. So he was just a special kid. Like, he was a special kid, but again, just heart was so big. And and we're gonna miss him dearly. But we are grateful, especially to our friend Tashima, who actually was one of the people who helped us that night. She went and picked up his cell phone from where it was, and then provided that to us, because we of course contacted authorities to figure out who to do the report with, whether it was the county or the city, which then turned into DMR, who I contacted immediately from there. So our friend actually, when I called her, Nolan is best friends with her two sons, Jalen and Javon. When I called her, I said, Tashima, have you seen Nolan? He's missing. No one has seen him. No one has talked to him. The boys were actually with her sons. So they opened up their Snapchat, because a lot of the kids do have their locations where they're tracking one another. So one of the boys says, well, it's showing that, I can't exactly remember what his location was showing, but my Live 360 location was showing something completely different. It was actually showing that his phone was like he was on land. And so we ended up, she received the phone from that parent, and then we met up where his car was, which was at a separate location. There were issues obtaining the key, but even so, there's just a lot of...
Tell them about what happened with the key.
So I'm gonna let my husband tell you about that, because he actually went up to the door to get the key, because at that point, I was just not in my right mind. This has just been an awful situation, just terrible.
Let's hear from what you people had to say on what the people say.
An 18-year-old black man by the name of Nolan Wells spent his last 4th of July on this planet on a boat where he was found later deceased in the water. People are going to be like, well, why are we pointing out his race? Why does his race matter? Well, in this case, people think it matters because he happened to be on a boat with his friends, his best friends or teammates or whatever they were, and they all are of the color white. None of them are black. He was the only black person on this boat, on this trip, on the island. Where everything gets fishy is they claim that they'd never seen him after they left him on an island with a girl he had just met, because he wanted to hang out with the girl, do stuff with the girl. But he supposedly left his keys, he left his phone, basically all of his belongings. The one thing that sticks out that is the weirdest to leave would be your cell phone, because how would anybody even know when to pick you up and to go home? Like, I get the keys, okay? Like, you don't need your keys on an island. There's no car around you. But why wouldn't he take his phone with him? That just didn't add up. He obviously was not found on the island either. He was found in the water. So leaving him on an island also doesn't make sense. Clearly something went down to where he ended up from the boat to the water. I don't believe he was left on an island. Now, chances are we're not going to get the real story unless they physically did something crazy to this boy, because one of the parents of the children are a judge. And if anybody knows anything, if you have parents of law enforcement, parents who are judges, or just parents who are wealthy, they're going to get out of it. In some way, shape, or form, they are going to get out of it. Do I think it was necessarily a hate crime? I don't know. I'm so 50-50 on it, because it's hard for me to believe that people would just off their friend simply because he was the only black one on the boat. Because, like, if I were to go out, maybe I'm just different, but if I were to go out and I had only one black friend there, I would protect them the same as I would protect my other friends. But you know what is scary about these situations is it's always rich, uppity frat boys. White, black, Mexican, don't matter what they are, they're always the uppity frat boys that seem to have this stuff happen to them. Same with the girls. It's always the uppity girls that are in the sororities that things magically go wrong. And it's because their parents let them get away with anything, because money is power and they know that. And that's what's terrifying. I personally, as a white woman, wouldn't have gotten on a boat with a bunch of frat boys, because something would have 100% happened to me. So I do think something went down, and I personally hope that if there is a girl involved, let's say that there is a girl on this boat, and that was true, and he did have a crush on her, the first step in this whole investigation I would see if she has been with any of those other boys. Because maybe not all the boys were out to get him, because it could have easily just been one friend on the boat that did it, and none of the rest know anything that's happening. But that one friend that probably did do it probably has some type of resentment towards Nolan. So my guess is that maybe that person liked the girl, and Nolan was the one getting the girl, or they used to date the girl, and he wanted it. they were drunk, got in a fight, he pushed him in the water. Something of that nature is what I'm guessing, but what's y'all opinion?
So this video is for all the well-meaning white folks in my comments across all social media platforms, complaining about a rush to judgment, telling me I should pause and be empathetic to the remaining surviving friend group. What stress they must be under. What are they going through? And to that I say, no, I will not empathize with them. I went to school with kids like that. I sent my son to school with rich white kids like that. There will be no empathy for them today. You hear me? Because I want you to think about something. What if Nolan were white? Close your eyes and imagine if Nolan were white and the friend group were black and they all went out on a boat off the Gulf Coast to an island and left white Nolan on the island and they returned with Nolan's phone and no Nolan and no story and no cooperation and we don't know what happened and yeah. Can you imagine? I can. That friend group would be under the jail, fingerprinted, processed by now. I'm gonna need well-meaning white folks to go find something safe to do. Because commenting under my videos with some foolishness ain't it. You have a good day.
I hate to be that nigga, but why cases like the Nolan Wells case only happen to black people, my nigga? Hey, drop my beat, gang. I ain't gonna lie, one of these white boys gotta go down, bro. Cause in what world, if it was all black people and one white nigga, right? And he go on a boat and go to an island and they come back and saying they don't know what happened, they don't remember anything. In what world is all of them niggas not going down for life? Like, what? It's just too many weird unanswered stories with us, gang. Like, y'all remember the nigga that got wrapped up in a wrestling match, gang? Or do y'all remember the nigga that got hung on a school campus, bro? And they deemed it unaliving himself. Come on, bro. Y'all remember the girl that was end up in the freezer, my nigga? And nobody got charged, nobody found nobody guilty for that game. Like, bro, this not happening to other niggas, bro. Somebody getting charged, bro. Whether it's rightfully or wrongfully convicted, somebody getting charged. Some nigga families getting some type of answers, my nigga, whether they true or false. For real. Nigga, our junk, nigga, it's swept under the rug till niggas forget about it. And then I seen another video where they was saying the nigga got off the boat with some girls. So y'all left him? Come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about right now, gang?
We need to start referring to this as a sundown group, because once the sun goes down, you don't want to catch your black self in this group because you're most likely not going to make it home. I find myself thinking about Tamala Horsford and her case and her husband and her children ever so often, because it's heartbreaking that case was closed and we all know that was foul play. And now here we are in 2026 and yet again we have another instance of a black person in the company of others and not making it home safely, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. My heart breaks for his family, for his mother, for his father. And let's take this time to be gentle and understand that his family is on these apps. They can read these things, and this is not the time to victim blame, to family shame. We need to send them love, prayers, and encouragement in this time.
Hey peeps, please tell me y'all have seen that story about Nolan Wells all over Facebook, all over Instagram. It's getting some news. I feel like it should get more than it's getting right now. But over 4th of July weekend, he went out on a boat with some friends, and everyone else came back but him. And ironically, come to find out, one of the parents, they're a judge, and then one of them is an FBI agent. And now they're all lawyered up. There's just some weirdness to this story, and they all did not know where he was, and they didn't know anything. But then apparently one kid was drunk and confessed, allegedly. There's just so much weirdness to the story, and it's just so sad that you can't even go out with friends that you allegedly feel like are your friends, and something happened. But what gets me is, if you my friends, you're not gonna leave me and go home. Like, so you know what I mean? So there's so much to this story that's missing, and his body was just found. So we know that he's unalived and he's not here anymore, but what happened? What happened? I feel like there's not enough people that are upset about this and talking about this, so I'm just as confused because the math is not mathin'. Is it mathin' to you?
My mama always told me, if you the only birthday candle at the birthday party, 9 times out of 10, you ain't there for the party and you there as the present. My mama always told me, if you the only birthday candle at the birthday party, you not there for the birthday party, you there to be the present. Nolan Wells and this whole entire thing down there in Mississippi look fishy. One of the boys' mama is a judge down there. Don't nobody know what happened. Now all of a sudden, a body's been found to presume to be his. His mama, Nolan Wells, is online saying she want answers, which means she crying out to the world because she don't believe nothing Mississippi say, which she shouldn't. I want to hear what's going on because it's moving a little too slow for me. The people who investigate this whole thing saying that there's no way possible he could have made it to inside of the island because it's cactus and stuff everywhere. So what really happened to Nolan? That's all we want to know. I'm not going to cover this like I know everything. I want to hear y'all speak this time, okay? Because apparently the other way don't work when we just take what y'all say on y'all news outlets. We want to know what happened from y'all. Instead of all of us making posts on, y'all go live and say what happened. Put them boys on camera. Let us look at them. Let us be the judge and character on this one. Sidebar. I done already goddamn judged them. Y'all guilty. I don't give a damn. My baby leave the house and he don't come back and it was all white friends. Guilty. Undertaker commit the bodies. I digress. Nolan Wells has went missing. Body found. Parents want to know what's going on in Mississippi. If you ain't know what was going on, you know now. He went missing 4th of July weekend. He was with his friends. And he was the only birthday candle. I'm just here to bring you the news. I'm just a messenger.
The way this country talks about black victims versus white victims is disgusting. Nolan Wells' body was found yesterday off the coast of Mississippi. If you didn't know, he was presumed missing and dead on July 4th. It is America's 250th birthday, and we're still dealing with this bullshit. He was celebrating with his friends for the 4th of July, and there's now circulating video that is going very viral of what looks to be him and his friends that he went with on the beach, and there's an argument. There's yelling happening. In the video, he looks to be very calmly standing still looking at his buddies. And somehow, the conversation is about his behavior. Why wasn't he on the boat? Was he drinking? Was he going from one boat to another? Now, I'm going to give you a scenario. It's kind of morbid, so stick with me and trigger warning. If I show up dead, washed on a beach, my community of people where I was born are not going to go, well, how was Jake acting? Did he stay where he was supposed to? Did he start an argument with people? No, it's going to go, what the fuck? We have someone that would kill people out here? Jake, I love that guy. He plays for the football team. I'm just putting myself in Nolan's shoes. Nolan plays for the team. He's friends with those people. And the conversation is about his behavior. Just so frustrating. Like racism is still alive and well just in the dialogue. Just in the dialogue. As simple as that. I just want this country to do better. And I see a future where we just stop with this bullshit and start going like, man, this kid was killed. Like his on the 4th of July, he is celebrating with everyone. And he can't even do that. We can do better. We got to do better. Oh, and apparently one of the friends' moms is a local judge. And if you think that will work in Nolan's favor, you clearly don't know anything about the history of young black men in this country. This isn't going to go anywhere. We have to speak up about it.
This is certainly not the update I wanted to bring y'all, but 18-year-old Nolan Wells, his body has been recovered. His grandfather on Facebook said, my daughter Christine and her husband Elmore prayed for a positive outcome, but they also had to prepare themselves for the worst. Now that my grandson has been found, it's time for answers, but be mindful they need space and need to grieve. There has been enough finger pointing. Let law enforcement do their job. So this person, who is reportedly Nolan's grandfather, has confirmed that the body that was found near the place that he went missing is in fact Nolan. And just in case you missed it, Nolan is an 18-year-old Black rising football star who went boating for 4th of July weekend with his friends. He went off with a girl, at least that is a preliminary story. His phone did not go with him. That is, again, a preliminary story. And his parents did recover his phone. So the phone is currently with his parents. So now that a body has been found, the investigation in which he died is now underway. And hopefully his family gets the answers that they deserve. But unfortunately, news, Nolan Wells has been found dead near the area where he disappeared.
The body of missing 18-year-old Nolan Wells has been found after he went missing on a 4th of July boating trip. Nolan Xavier Wells, friends called him Nono, was a beloved football player at Southwest Mississippi Community College and was gearing up to go back for football season next month. On July 4th, Nolan headed out to Horn Island off the coast of Mississippi with a group of friends for the holiday. He was last seen around 3 p.m., some say, talking to a girl, but his phone was left on the boat. Here's the detail that stands out. He did not come back on the same boat as the rest of the group, and that's sparking a lot of opinions, and we'll circle back to those. Around midnight, his mom, Christine, reported him missing, and by Saturday afternoon, the Jackson County Sheriff's Department had put out a public alert. By evening, they've got a command post set up at the Lake Mars boat launch, and this search gets big fast. Coast Guard, Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks, multiple fire departments, and the volunteer group United Cajun Navy all join in. One searcher from the Cajun Navy makes a good point of saying that Nolan was reportedly barefoot, and the island's interior is full of cactus and thorny brush, so it's highly unlikely that he wandered away. And that detail matters because it narrows down where he could have actually been. Meanwhile, his mom was posting for any photos or video from that day, trying to piece together his last movements. Yesterday, July 6th, search boats go back out at dawn, and at 8:45 a.m., a park ranger finds a body in the water off the northwest tip of Horn Island. The sheriff says that it matches Nolan's description, and the coroner tells local news that he has, quote, no reason to believe it's not him, but says that he will do his due diligence and waiting for the DNA before making it official. An autopsy has been scheduled for today, Tuesday, July 7th. His mother, however, positively identified his body and afterwards posted on Facebook confirming his death, saying, quote, his father, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated. Nolan was a special soul, and God took his time creating our son. I mentioned earlier that Nolan did not come back on the same boat as his friends who he'd arrived with. Why did they leave without him? Some say the friends assumed he caught a ride back with someone else. The opinion there is that you don't leave your friend behind. This has also sparked some racial tensions, as Nolan was the only Black person in his group of friends that day. Some people began assuming foul play by his friends way before any facts actually came out, while others feel it's a mistake to assume guilt without evidence. No arrests have been made in this case, and no official details have come out about exactly what happened after Nolan and his friends left that boat. Nolan's college and high school both put out statements mourning him. His football coach called him someone with humility who led by example. A GoFundMe for the family has already raised over $65,000. This is still developing, and the autopsy results have not come out yet, but follow to stay updated. I'm Angel, and this is Red Flag Files.
I just want everyone to know about the Nolan Wells case is that he wasn't isolated with him and his 3 little friends in that photo. Like, they went to a very popular island for the 4th of July where a lot of people went. Like, it wasn't just him and his 3 little white friends. It was him and hundreds of other people. Like, they got off the boat. Like, Nolan wasn't like dragged to this island saying it's gonna be so much fun. It's just gonna be us 4 bros and we're gonna have so much fun and we're all gonna come back home. Swear, you know? People are making it to believe they're like posting it with the sleepover thing, but that lady was isolated with her friends. We don't know what happened. She was found dead. But the Nolan Wells case is like he went to a party where a lot of people went. And he just didn't make it home. But, like, y'all are making it seem like his friends took him isolated somewhere and then murdered him. That didn't happen. And then now you got making up assumptions, making up lies that his friends killed him. No, Nolan left that group. He said, y'all are boring, see ya, and left with some girl. That's it. But Nolan Wells was surrounded by, like, hundreds of other people. Like, it wasn't just him and those 3 dudes. There was a lot of other people there.
Black people deserve to grow old too. I'm tired of watching young Black lives end before they even get the chance to begin. My heart goes out to the Nolan Wells family. This is a huge tragedy. No parent should have to bury their child. I'm angry, I'm heartbroken, and I'm honestly just tired of systems treating Black people like we're disposable. And it's pretty obvious what happened here, because no real friend is leaving their friend behind, especially when you're on a boat, essentially in the middle of nowhere. And now all the friends involved are lawyering up. Why are you lawyering up if you didn't do anything wrong? Nolan's family deserves to know the truth, and they need justice. I felt really connected to this story, not only because I'm Black, but I also went to a predominantly white high school with wealthy white people, and I too experienced a lot of bullying, a lot of harassment, and I've dealt with a lot of fake friends that don't actually have your back. I could easily see what happened to Nolan happening to me in high school, 100%. If my parents weren't so strict, they never allowed me to go to parties in high school, they never allowed me to sleep at friends' houses because they were aware of what can happen to Black people when you're the only one, and it just breaks my heart. Nolan was just 18 years old, he was a star football player, he was someone's son, and he was thriving in white spaces. He was described as a light. I'm sure they were jealous of Nolan, and jealousy makes people do ugly things. And this message is for my Black people that are in predominantly white spaces. Please be careful. And I'm saying this because I was a token gay Black friend. I've experienced it. That's why I don't hang out with certain people anymore. Had to get rid of a lot of friends in the process. Racism is very much alive in 2026, especially when people don't feel as though you're deserving or entitled to a life they think they deserve. It's when things hit the fan, the color of your skin matters. And friends that you thought were your friends will show their true colors eventually. I hope justice is served. I hope we get more answers because this is just so devastating. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells. When is it going to end?
Body was found this morning. I don't know if you guys have been following this case out of Mississippi. 18-year-old Nolan Wells went out on a boat celebrating 4th of July with friends. Never made it back. His friends made it back. There's been confusion about who last saw Nolan. Two boys, Warren and Wyatt, said that Nolan was last seen with Katie. Katie's a girl he met that day. Katie says that her and Nolan went their separate ways. Jackson County Sheriff says that they recovered the body early this morning around the western tip of Horn Island, which is where Nolan was last seen. Of course, the person that they found is pending identity confirmation from the coroner's office. The sheriff did say that they've been in touch with Nolan's family this morning as well. Obviously, as we get more information, once they confirm his identity and possibly preliminary cause of death, any other details, I'll keep you guys posted.
The dangers of friend groups that look like they're serious in our community. Nolan Wells was missing since the 4th of July after a boating trip with these culprits. Of course, these men said that they had no idea where Nolan was, and like expected, they all corroborated each other's stories. Fast forward to today, Nolan Wells' body was found, and we still don't have an explanation of exactly what happened. This isn't the first time this happened either. I remember this happened similarly to a Black woman named Tamala Horsford. She went to a sleepover with a bunch of women that didn't look like her, and before the sun even came up, Tamala was dead. No explanation given to the cops once again. Alonzo Brooks also went to a house party and ended up unalived. These people are always going to corroborate each other's stories whenever something bad like this happens. And because of their privilege, they're always believed and no meaningful investigation is ever done. Many of these cases also go unsolved. And I'm not saying don't hang out with white people. I'm just saying if you look like me and they're going to an all-white space, you need to have a plan. My heart goes out to Wells and his family because they should be celebrating. He should be going to college right now, and it should be one of the most exciting times of his life. But his family doesn't get to experience that. His mother had to spend this morning identifying his body. You guys be safe out there. I love you, and I'll talk to you next time.
A heartbreaking update in the Nolan Wells case. His family is now confirming that the 18-year-old was indeed found deceased. Nolan was reported missing after he spent the 4th of July with some friends in the Horn Island area, and this is in Mississippi. Now, after a multi-agency search, authorities say that a body that matched Nolan's description was found on July 6th. Now, DNA testing is obviously still pending, but Nolan's family has put out a statement confirming their loss. Right now, investigators are not releasing Nolan's cause of death. However, investigators believe that drugs and alcohol probably were not involved. However, once that toxicology report comes out, we will know a little bit more. Now, this is a devastating case. I've seen so many tributes pour in for this young man. He seemed like a bright, beautiful young man with so many ambitions and dreams. Nobody had a mean thing to say about this young man at all. And there are a lot more questions than answers. Once we have that verified information, I will keep you guys updated. Make sure you follow me for the latest updates on this case and other true crime news.
They is playing in our face right now. Everybody know his friends had something to do with it. So 18-year-old Nolan Wells from Mississippi decided to take a boat trip with his friends on the 4th of July. And unfortunately, that was the last time he was seen. But this got the internet going crazy because he the only one that ain't make it back. And allegedly, his friends don't remember what happened to him. But Nolan's phone was found left behind on land. And I'm pretty sure anyone taking a boat trip to an island gonna make sure they had a phone. Also, a body was recently found by a fisherman where he was reported missing at. And unfortunately, they just confirmed that that person was Nolan Wells. But now lots of people want to know why he was the only person that ain't make it back home. As y'all can see, the comments feel those wasn't his real friends for real. Many people believe that they had something to do with him getting unalived. That's why lots of the comments saying he shouldn't have put himself in that type of situation, because it's very obvious the people he was around didn't care about him for real. His so-called friends said they ain't realized he was missing until they made it back. Me personally, I'm not leaving until I got everyone that came with me. And this what Nolan's mom had to say about the news. Also, she confirmed that they didn't create a GoFundMe.
Did you hear about Nolan Wells, that 18-year-old that was unalived this 4th of July weekend? Hey, yeah, I did. Apparently he and his friends went to an island by boat and they left him there. What happened? So I guess this all happened in Mississippi during the 4th of July weekend when Nolan and his buddies decided to take a group of girls on a boat to Horn Island, and that's when everything started going wrong. Well, what happened once they got to the island? So 2 of Nolan's buddies that were there, Warren and Wyatt, said that Nolan and Katie, one of the girls that they were there with, decided to branch off and do their own thing. Okay, but that's fine. You're still doing a buddy system approach. How did they end up losing Nolan? Well, that's the thing. Eventually, Katie says that at some point during the evening, they branched off and it was just her doing her own thing and she doesn't know what happened to Nolan. And then eventually, I guess all of Nolan's buddies and everyone decided to hop back on the boat and they left without doing a head count, leaving Nolan behind. Wait, they literally got in a boat without doing a head count and left Nolan on the island by himself? Yep, and they just found his body today on Horn Island. Honestly, be so for real.
So I'm going to use what's going on with Nola, the young man that went missing on 4th of July and he was just found unalive today. I want us to have a talk with our children and let our children know if you are ever anywhere and you are feeling uncomfortable, please call mama or daddy or auntie or somebody will come get you. And if they can't come get you, they will send an Uber to come and get you. You know what I'm saying? Something happened to this little boy, and whatever happened, it shouldn't have happened. And something bad happened, and his mother deserved answers. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I want people to talk to their children and let their children know if you feeling uncomfortable about anything, you're anywhere, I will get you up out of there, because that's what mommies do. We come and we save the day. I know his mama is hurt. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, to be able to bury a child. And like I said, after she put her baby to rest, because right now that's what she needs to do, is put her child to rest, baby, I would hit all gas, because I would want answers to find out what the fuck happened to my child. I'm serious. After she put him in the ground and she walk away from that graveyard, she needs to, I want answers. And I would not stop, because I would not let nobody brush this under the rug.
This is 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells. He was invited by these friends to a 4th of July trip. But when it was time to go home, everyone made it back safely except Nolan. So Nolan is a freshman football player from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. He was invited by his friends to go on a 4th of July trip to Horn Island. According to his friends, at some point during the day, he left from with them to go spend time with a girl. After he spends time with this girl, all of a sudden, Nolan goes missing. Around 3 p.m., Nolan disappeared. No one knows where he is. The girl doesn't know where he is, neither does his friends. His friends and the girl is saying that they all thought that he got a ride back to the mainland. But how can he get a ride back to the mainland? He came with you. I'm trying to figure out the part when they said they thought that he got a ride back to the mainland. You can only get to Horn Island by boat or aircraft. So who would he get a ride from? He had his phone. Why wouldn't he call you guys? Oh, because they found his phone, but they didn't find him. The math ain't mathing here. Something ain't right. Something is off. Something is very strange about this story. Have you guys seen Horn Island? This is Horn Island. There's literally nothing on that island. No homes, no gas stations, no restaurants, no roads. Like, it's nothing on that island. This island is so isolated, you have to have a boat to get to it. That island is known for alligators as well. And if someone gets in trouble there, they can't just walk to a nearby house or business to get help. Nolan was last seen wearing blue swim trunks, no shirt, and sunglasses. They are posting that a body has been found pending identification. Let's all pray that Nolan is found safe and alive. Please share this video to bring awareness and to make sure Nolan's story reaches as many people as possible.
The search for Nolan Wells has unfortunately came to an end as the local Mississippi police confirmed that the body they found was him. First off, I want to say rest in peace to Nolan and big prayers to his family. I couldn't even imagine how it feels to send your child out to have fun with his friends on the holidays just for him to never return home again. If nobody else is going to say it, I will. The friends definitely have something to do with it. But now we have some witness claims that tie together some time frames, and we even have somebody claiming that they saw the same group of people fighting. Now, Nolan's friends claim that he went missing earlier in the day, but a witness took a picture of Nolan's friends at 7:30 at night having fun on the boat, partying, drinking, all the above. Caitlin Brochard alleges that when she initially pulled up to the boat, she did see Nolan. He was very nice. He even introduced himself to her husband. After the day carried on and they were on their way out, she said she saw no Nolan, but she saw the group of people still having fun and still partying. Nobody was swimming around the yacht looking for Nolan. Nobody seemed stressed out. Matthew Lamp alleges while he was riding, one of his passengers saw Nolan and his group of friends fighting. Now, this was around 5 p.m. and remember that lady said when she was leaving around 7:30 p.m. she didn't see Nolan anywhere. If Matthew says him and his boat passenger saw Nolan at 5, but Caitlin says at 7:30 Nolan was nowhere to be found, what did that mean? Yeah, I don't know. I can already smell some levels of foul play here, but let's see what the justice system does. You know how they get down. Comment and let me know what you think about this new evidence and his friend's position in all this mess. If you'd like to show some love and support, or if you'd like to stay updated on this topic, I'll greatly appreciate it if you hit the like and follow button for me. And again, I want to say rest in peace to Nolan.
This shit is sad because this could have been any one of our kids. So they found a body this morning on Horn Island in Mississippi. They just confirmed that that body belonged to Nolan Xavier Wells. And we got to address the elephant in the room. The people that he was with has to know what happened to him. I don't care what nobody says. You could say it ain't a race thing. You could say the people that was with him didn't have anything to do with it. But the reality to the fact is, there is no way that I believe that his friends didn't know what happened to him. And for the people that don't know what happened, he went missing on the 4th of July. He was with this group of friends on Mississippi's Horn Island. This same group of friends that he was with made it back home safe and acted like they didn't know anything that happened to Nolan. Now let's fast forward. People were saying that the last time they seen him, he was speaking to a girl. Then you have other people saying that there was an argument or fuss going on and he was involved in that argument and fuss. And now his parents are left without a son. His mom posted this on Facebook confirming that her son is indeed not with us anymore. You can read it. None of this shit is making sense. And the reason it's not making sense because it's not supposed to make sense. Because it's not the truth.
And this is why you need to be overprotective of your kids. Everybody who's saying they're your friends ain't always your friends. And look at the climate we're in right now. And again, you're going to have people saying that race probably didn't play a part. Look who he was with. And then after you look at that, look at all the racial tension that's going on around America. Nolan Wells could have been any one of our kids. Your kid. My kid. We cannot allow them to sweep this under the rug.
I want to talk to y'all about Nolan Wells, but before I do that, I want to note that Nolan's mom does follow me, and in the event that she or other family members come across this video, please keep the comments respectful and in line with uplifting a family who just tragically lost their son. If there's any kind of nasty comments, racist comments, conspiracy theory type comments, my comment section is not the place for that. You will be blocked. This is someone's real life. Okay, this is someone's son. This is not a fodder for content. This should not have been Nolan Wells last summer. Nolan Wells was someone's baby. He was 18 years old, set to turn 19 next month, set to go back to playing football at his local community college. He was very well liked. He got along with everybody. He was radiant. He was a leader. And he went out with 3 friends. They went out to an island. His 3 friends returned to the mainland without him. And all 3 of those friends are white. And I know that when I say that, there are white people watching this who are immediately gonna say, well, we don't know what happened. And y'all, this is the difference. If the situations were reversed, if the circumstances were reversed, and it was 3 black boys who took a white boy out, and the 3 black boys came back and the white boy did not, it wouldn't matter that they didn't know what happened. Those 3 black boys would have been in handcuffs. Those 3 black boys would still be in questioning to this day. I can see the Fox News headline now, right? They would have used it as proof. See, we told you black people were dangerous. We told you black people were bad. I've seen no such headline on Fox News about this. Have you? Even though, we know that white men are overwhelmingly responsible for situations of mass violence across the US, and I'm not saying every white guy, right? I'm not saying that. Here's the thing. Acknowledging that black people are in danger in this country, often at the hands of white people, often at the hands of white police officers, acknowledging that reality, because it is a reality, right? It's not a theory. It is evidenced by so much data and history and lived experience. Acknowledging that reality as a white person does not make you inherently dangerous, but refusing to acknowledge it does. We have to be able to recognize the double standard before we can do something about that. And genuinely, because I know there's people with all kinds of belief systems who follow me, I want you to sit with that. What would you think if you saw 3 black boys had taken a white boy out and the white boy didn't return? What would you honestly think? Throughout history, our criminal justice system has never waited to wait and find out what happens when it comes to incarcerating black people or punishing black people for crimes they didn't commit, or even killing black people for crimes that they did not commit. That is just the truth, and that is all I'm trying to say here. I am not trying to insert my personal commentary, because again, his mom does follow me, and I really do just want to be respectful and do what I can to support the family. And on that note, GoFundMe for his family is in my bio. It is the verified GoFundMe. I checked it across all of his mom's pages, and y'all, we have to do better to protect black children. We have to do better to protect black people, and that starts with listening to them and believing them, which we do a god-awful job at. We do a god-awful job. Just continue to pray for his family and that they get the answers that they deserve.
We will continue to follow this story and provide updates as officials release more information. If you like to honor Nolan's memory, keep his family, friends, and teammates and everyone affected by this tragedy in your thoughts. I've been your host, Kendra Dick, saying thank you for watching. Bye.